What do you think? Do you think that this sentence is well?
Not that you're starting.
Because you are describing the flat. You are
Yeah.
describing your family.
That's unity. When you start describing, for example, in this case, the flag, you will add more details about the flag. You have to describe the flag, but then you start talking about, in the case, daily routines, as the man said, and you will be like, oh my God, this is not I'm not describing my flag. I'm doing anything else. We have to be very careful with this kind of paragraphs. We have to add the details that are related to the topic sentence. For example, 3 or 4 details, and then we have to end the paragraph with the sentence. It has to be related with the topic sentence as well. I want to show you another example. It's not a paragraph, it's the start of a paragraph. What do you think? The topic sentence, Sunday is my favorite day because I can watch football with my dad. There are other sports on the other days to watch on TV. Do you think that this idea is related to the first one? No, right? But what about this part? You think that part is the same as this? What do you think?
It is not the same.
Do you think that part is correct? Yeah?
Could be.
It's not a paragraph, it's the start of the paragraph. So the first topic, the topic sentence, the Sunday is my favorite day because I can watch football with my dad. Huh? Yeah, it's missing. And then you start adding more details, right? But in this one, this is not related to the topic sentence. And this one? Yeah. Okay, so the unity has to be, okay, all the ideas have to be related in the topic sentences, okay? That's unity in a paragraph. But what happens if you, for example, in this case, you're describing your flat, and then you start talking about your mother habits or something like that? So that's not unity, okay? So, my partners are going to explain the other 3 elements of the paragraph.
As we read, did you get like the main point of the paragraph? It is that all the things that he does when he wakes up late, and then he have to do a lot of things in a rush. So now that we can understand like the main point of the paragraph. In the way it is, like not with the numbers just like that. If you read it, it's like a whole mess. First he says that he missed the school bus, and then another thing, and he jumps from one event to another like in no time order or the climax or everything. So that's really messy. So the reader is going to confuse if you write this. Well, that's why order is really important. Because the main point of writing something is for another person to read it. And if this person doesn't get the main point of you want to read, that's pointless. Your reading is going to be pointless because you're not going to transmit whatever you want to say through your writing. So now my partner is going to continue.
My subtopic is coherence. Well, but I want to know which were the topics that we have studied with my classmates. Unity and order. Unity and order. Okay. It is important to, when we are going to write a paragraph, to have really good ideas. Yes, we have to do brainstorming and all the stuff that we know to follow the steps. But we have to take into account these for phases, let's say, because in a paragraph, all the ideas have to be related. That's unity. Sorry. It has to follow an order. Yes, you can do or develop those phases very well, but you cannot have coherence in your writing. You can have very good ideas, you can have the unity, all the ideas are related, but you cannot arrange them in a very good way in order to make sense. It could be a little bit confused for another person that reads your piece of writing, and that person is not going to get the main idea. So, what is coherence? Coherence is a technique of making words, phrases, and sentences move smoothly and logically from one to the other into the paragraph. And this makes the paragraph work as a higher whole unit. As my classmate Dennis says at the beginning, a paragraph is a complete unit, is a whole. All the ideas have to be related, have to have the unity, the order, the coherence, and later on we are going to do the completeness. I have one example here that I want you to take a look. These are ideas that yesterday I was thinking of. It says, for me, the worst thing about waiting tables is the uniform. All waitresses have to wear the ugly brown striped jumper. The shirts wear polyester. Sometimes someone you know comes in. Now I have a job in an office. What do you think about it? Are all the ideas related? Not really. Maybe somehow, but we're going to see something before going to practice. For making coherence in our paragraph, we have to take into account two little pieces of that. We have to keep the order, as my classmate Nena said. We have to keep the order, not doing shifts in tense, neither in person. It's something that we are likely to do sometimes because we are trying to express all the ideas that we are thinking about, and we forget about the order of time that the ideas have to follow. We start talking in present, we go into past, then we go to future, and that's something that while we are speaking, people understand, but when we are writing, sometimes it's a little bit confusing reading pieces of writing that are very messy that way in time order. So, first, it's important not to commit shifts neither in time and then neither in person, because sometimes we also start a paragraph. Well, in this case, for me, we are talking about first person, okay? First person. Then we are talking about all the waitresses. We are talking about they. And then the shirts. They too. And we begin with for me. So we have to keep an order in person. Well, now that we know that we have to keep the order, not committing shifts neither in person neither in tense. Another thing that can be very useful in your paragraphs in order to make them smoothly, we can use transitional words. Do you know them? Do you know transitional words? Yeah. Yes. Jessica, you tell me one transitional word.